The State Emergency Service has given most homeowners in Forbes the all clear to return to their properties. While the floodwaters are receding, the heartbreaking task of cleaning up is only just getting underway.
Wendy Palmer is a third-generation owner of this Hill Street home. She's a seasoned resident who's used to preparing for flooding and cleaning up its trail of devastation.
I've been here all my life, and my father taught us when we were little how to pack up, and yeah, so we're pretty good at it.
Water came through her home on the banks of Lake Forbes last week. It wasn't as bad as the 1990 or 1952 floods, but it's ruined her vinyl floor covering.
We've had a few people driving up and down that's pushed waves in. That's caused problems. So other than that, it would have been fine.
Problems too for residents in other low-lying areas of town whose homes are still inundated. They've still not got the all clear to return home.
It's not the fact that there's electrical hazards and all that sort of stuff, health hazards and things like that. There's insects and snakes and other creatures that could have sought refuge from the floodwaters in their properties, so they need to take some care while they return.
All these people need now is dry, warm weather and weeks of it.
Don't know whether it'll happen or not, but just praying now.
The council will hold a meeting next week to determine a recovery model to help home and property owners.
We did not want any fatalities. So long as people were safe, we felt pretty confident that we'd come out the other end.
The floodwater is now heading towards Condobolin, where it's expected to peak at 7 metres on Thursday. Genya Cole, Win News.
In Condobolin, a 7-year-old boy is lucky to be alive after being trapped under a collapsed sand pile. Authorities say the boy and his friends entered a sandbagging site similar to this one on Saturday morning.
He dug a small tunnel, climbed in, and it collapsed to his chest, and in the efforts to get out, his friend hit him on the head with a shovel.
The boy wasn't seriously hurt and left the site before police arrived. Parents are being urged not to allow children to play in such sites or in floodwaters. The receding floodwaters in Forbes have allowed authorities to reopen the town's central business district. Shop owners have spent the day mopping up mess caused by the inundation. The community is being urged to throw their weight behind the local business sector to help it recover from a week's lost production and income.
Peter Ma's shed in Lower Rankin Street resembled an island last week. He was stranded there as floodwaters rose around him. Today, the wool buyer's back on dry land, counting his losses.
The water came through about 18 inches, sort of went right through the shed and through my yard, and yeah, caused a bit of stink and a bit of mud and sludge.
It went everywhere and got into everything. His wool is waterlogged. He spent the weekend clearing up and reopened for business this morning.
Yeah, we would have lost a bit of trade. People probably went elsewhere, you know, and yeah, the sort of town was cut off.
Across town, brooms are out everywhere you look. Valuable possessions are still up high wherever they'll fit. Many businesses here in Forbes were closed for much of last week. Even those not directly inundated by water are today counting their losses.
Bills still come in and banks still need to be paid, and you know, myself, like a lot of others, have full-time employees, so we have to still pay them.
The whole business community is in the same boat.
I think probably 80% loss in trade would be a fair number.
That's pretty tough, and there is nothing out there to assist with that loss of income, unless of course you have your own insurance, so that's pretty tough on small business.
The Forbes Business Chamber is urging Forbes residents to throw their weight behind the local business sector.
Buy locally where you can, and it will assist the town a little bit into getting back onto their feet again.
And the effects of the flood will be felt for some time yet. Many farms are still underwater.
The community here relies a lot on the farming sector, and given the devastation that's been caused around the area, I think it'll be an ongoing problem for the local community.
Genya Cole, Win News.